several questions. We've got only 45 minutes, so we have to share with us how to find money to make films. I mean, that's what we're all trying to do together. I've got one question to start with. Vicky, can you maybe answer that? Do you know what an average price is, an average cost for a dance film? What does it cost? For, let's say, 8 minutes. I want to make a film for 8 minutes.
How long is a piece of string? Because it depends what you're making it for. And I think that's one of the major changes, as much as I see it now, in terms of making dance films. People are making them for different audiences and formula that existed, and I think that is just out of the window now. I think we have to forget. It is something that can still happen, but I think so many artists are not working in this way anymore.
What was the idea behind it, and what did it cost?
Yes, Point Taken is an initiative by the Media Fund and the Performing Arts Fund here in the Netherlands, and it's co-produced with the NTR, our Dutch broadcaster. It was a project that would actually encourage or stimulate the medium dance film again, because the fund had the feeling there were not enough good dance film applications. That was beginning 2009. And what they did, they made a matchmaking day. The purpose was to combine choreographers with filmmakers. So not that choreographers would make their films and not directors making their films without any dance or choreographer, but the together. So they wrote applications and then they had talks with the funders, and then they said, okay, you seem all good couples, we're going to choose 4 films, and they each had €100,000 to produce 8 minutes max. And of course that is, yeah, a lot of money, and some people from the film world say, ah, it's nothing. So the fact of fundraising on any level, by the way, is that you're not asking for money, but you're asking for a partnership. And it was very clear in Point Taken, the couples, when they started talking, even it was written perfectly, when they spoke to these funders. There was also a performing arts fund that does not give money to film. It's out of the question, they can't do that. But they felt they were not partnering, they were asking for money. And that's just let go of that whole principle, because that will not work. I was recently in Johannesburg, and the Netherlands had done a whole co-production with South Africa, and it was very nice to hear how this whole hierarchy in financial pots works. Like the one that gives the most will always have the most power. There was this lady that said, okay, we don't even speak about partnering, but we speak about synchronizing. In one of the other panels, I spoke about the installation of Clara van Gogh. She's a well-known filmmaker, but she asked for money for an installation, for a dance installation. It was not accepted by the film fund, and then after a couple of months, she regained her strength, and she rewrote this application in saying 2 actors move in a similar pattern to the chair. They move in the same system to da-di-da-di-da. So they took out all the words dance. It's about how you phrase dance, because a lot of people get very nervous with the word dance, especially the film world. So we really had to think in timing, in edit, non-linear, linear.
How do you fund a dance film? Are there organizations, foundation in, for instance, England or Iceland or Denmark, where you can go to?
The Arts Council England has a project fund that supports projects, which includes artist moving image, and so that includes dance film and, you know, anything movement-based film.
It is fantastic. We have an organisation such as Arts Council England, and I know that is in many respects unusual for a lot of you out there who don't have public subsidy for the arts. Obviously, everything is in a changing climate, and we don't know kind of where the future will take us. But at the moment, we can still apply for our dance films through Arts Council England. Southeast Dance, the organisation I work for, also has previously worked to get trusts and foundations to put into a central commissioning fund, which we would then administrate, and the films that we're screening here at Cinedans have been funded through that scheme. 5 films that we funded, we commissioned, but we had to seek private sponsorships, well, public, through trusts and foundations in England to get a pot of money together. Now this was a very, very difficult thing to do. We thought, this will be easy, we have a track record in making all this work, the Arts Council will put in a seed fund, so they put in about 11,000, and then most of the filmmakers who were selected then went on and sought additional funding through different routes. So it is a very long process, and I think often filmmakers are not aware of the time it will take to raise the funds, even to make your short film that's only 6 minutes long.
You know, we have the Danish Film Institute in Denmark, where all films in Denmark are funded, and there are different levels. When you're new and you want to make a low, no budget, you can call it no budget projects, you can apply what is called film workshop. And right now, I guess half a year ago or something, they put on a box so you can apply for making a dance film project right now. So that's amazing, yeah. But it's still in the low budget projects. But we hope that it will get up in the other levels so you can go and apply.
Okay. What did your film cost?
The Story of a Ballet Dancer, I got 2,000. Around 2,000 euros to develop the 16mm and to scan it, and that was it. So I can only tell about how you fund and make your no-budget projects right now, because that's what I'm doing. And another film I'm working on right now, you know, the Story of a Ballet Dancer, it was only this money I got for this project. But I'm working on a longer project, and you can really talk about fundraising in this project. It's also funded by this film workshop, but I had to go to other private foundations. And what I found very interesting was that I did a mistake in the beginning. The first year where I applied for money, I was honestly too honest to my dance film in a way, because I realized that when you go to apply for money, you're applying for a film. And after that, you can really go and make your film. Because when you apply for your project, the dance film project, you have to be aware what is interesting for these people who are writing or reading your application. More to be aware of themes and subjects in your film.
Okay.
And about the narrative in the film, even if it's abstract or not linear or something, but there is themes and subjects and, in a way, a story. And it is to try and focus on that and not on the visual and artistic visions.
I think the economic crisis was a blessing in a way. You had to rethink everything, and also you have more listeners now for creative thinking or creative project. And more listeners, then I'm talking about the government, and also just, you know, the foundations and so far. I mean, the money has been cut, but you have to rethink in a way that I'm, for example, trying out different things, is to combine what I do already before. It's like combine my stage work into the film projects, and it's a huge difference if you're going, for example, I'm working on a project now. I wanted to do television length, because I was working with 11 television stations in my former project, and then I was working with my producer. And she said, why don't we just push it up to a feature length? Then the foundations, poof, it got larger, much more money there. So what I have found out with the economic crisis in my little country is that it's very important to be collaborated with another country. This is very good. So combine that into your artistic process or in your project. Content is very important. And put, you know, I have this beautiful sentence, it's got get out of the hole into the whole. You know, stop talking about, you know, your piece here, talk about it as in the community, or why should it be shown, you know? Give it a purpose. Yes, yes. It's like Art was talking about this morning. It's like, you know, whom it may concern is very important. And the second thing is to combine different foundations. Have the composer applying for money too, and also go into the theater funding, film funding, video funding, visual arts, combine them, and then you have like this popular word today, crossover, and a real one.
Emphasis on partnership funding, and no one wants to be the sole funder for anything. And that's also where your track record comes in. You have your partners, and that means you can demonstrate, I can work well with others. The research that you do, depending on who you approach, today we were talking, the pitches were coming to broadcasters. And TV is about telling stories, TV, it's a particular medium. So, to do a pitch well is really hard, and most of that is knowing who you're pitching to. And the same thing for any funding application that you do. You have to know, you have to research the trust, the foundation, the funding body, whoever they are. Things like, what words do they use? You're saying crossover, or, you find out what words they like, stick them in.
Because you always have to find, how can you phrase it. But somebody, I don't remember who said it, but she said physical cinema. I think it was nice.